Hello everyone, my name is Lacey. Welcome to my YouTube. I'm not only testing this thing out, but I all of a sudden I also want to talk about a topic that has really been near and dear to my heart lately, and that is letting your mind, body, subconscious, everything, your nervous system believe that you are allowed to receive more. I know, unsettling, right? It's unsettling. Been having to go through with that lately, but I feel like getting to the nitty gritty of that is what's really been eye opening and changing things in my life lately. Realizing that it's like safe to receive more. I'm allowed to want more. I'm allowed to receive more. Which is like not always easy for any of us to do. Like, I don't think we would have to do inner work if that was easy. We would just be like, oh, I can have what I want. And then yeah, sometimes you can say that and you can get it, but like you have like you'll catch yourself catching these limits where you'll start to like sabotage yourself when you get to the certain limit that you set in your mind of what you can have, even though that's not like true. Like, when you're having like good times and people are always like something's gonna happen, like that's just like their ideal of what could happen, because there are people every day that keep having good things happen to them. um but like getting past that, and one thing that's really 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 helped me was kind of using like a therapy trick lately. My therapist wants me to do like the inner child work, and I feel like you can kind of put that into what you need to do to open your body up to wanting and allowing yourself to have more. So basically what I'll do, and you can do this however it works for you. I'm not really gonna like say what I say, because I think that like your goals, your limiting beliefs, like we all have different ones, and they can be scary to like tell other people. But what I would say is kind of like speak all of your fears out loud. This is the hard part. You'll get emotional, but speak all of your fears out loud. This kind of goes into what I said about talking to yourself in the mirror. So, but you don't have to do this in the mirror. You can probably do it in the mirror, but you don't have to. So, what you need to do is sit in a quiet room, don't have any distractions, and just talk about everything that's your true fear. I know you could think, shouldn't I keep it bottled in? But you should speak on them. Speak about everything you think could go wrong, or every fear and doubt and negativity thought you have in your mind that tells you that you can't have it. This is unsettling. It is uncomfortable. It is something that is very necessary, though. People always say you shouldn't talk negative or be negative. I don't think you should complain or do those kind of things, but I do think it's very important to speak your negativity in a way that gives it less power. So speaking about it instead of holding it in and like keeping it inside of you is very powerful in letting it go. So speak all of your doubts, fears, negativity out loud, and kind of like transition it. So you want to speak like all of them. Say it's that you think you have to work hard or something. Then go into like um or you're not working hard enough or something like that. Then go into like kind of changing it to being like, well, those are just beliefs. This is just like a simple way to do it, because think, when you're doing this, it's going to be like probably flowing out of you, or it might be uncomfortable at first, but it's going to be a little bit more deeper than what how I'm saying it. This is kind of just like a simplified version. So you want to say all of your negative fear, doubts, whatever, like that you're going to change when you get what you want, that you have to do all this work to get what you want, blah blah blah. Okay, then you're going to switch into like being like, well, those are just beliefs. Beliefs are made up. I can change them. They're not truths. They're not universal truths. No one said it has to be that way. People get the things they want all the time by being just who they are. Blah 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 blah. Kind of like you're putting the affirmations in there a little bit. Then I would say to myself, like, Lacey, like, I know somewhere along the way someone told you that you had to do X, Y, and Z, or that you were this, or that you started to believe this. But I just want you to know that even if that was true, I believe in you anyways. I believe in your goals. I believe in whatever. If you stumble and you fall and you get knocked down, I'm going to be there to pick you back up again. And you really want to speak to yourself. Like, this is uncomfortable at first. If you're doing the mirror trick that I've talked about, it might not be as uncomfortable to do this. Um, but it can be unsettling. But you want to really speak to the person you are inside. Say what your name is. Say, like, I understand you feel X, Y, and Z, but either way, I'm here to support you. I love you. I'm rooting for you. I know that the goals you have are yours because you want them. Something along that's where you can kind of mix more affirmations in. But I do think it's very, 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 very important to speak out loud everything you're afraid of. Give it power. You can write it down, you can speak it, whatever like helps you like bring it to the surface, and then just like let it go. It's not going to be right away. It's not going to be the first time you do this that you let it go. Maybe it is, but it is going to take. It might take some practice. But this is kind of like some therapy tricks too. So, but I've started using it in a way that's helped me like get past the limiting doubts that I have in my head, especially since like I do have OCD, and a lot of the thoughts that aren't my positivity thoughts are like self-doubt, limiting, negative, intrusive thoughts. So sometimes I don't ever know what is my like subconscious negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts. So instead of like, I don't really give into like, oh good, can you hear that? So I'm testing this microphone, so it'd be good to see if we can hear this. What is, I think it's the dumpster. So I don't, if I know something's like a true intrusive thought, you know, I won't say what that is to try to reassure that or to make me feel better about that. But let's say I know what the root cause of it is. It's like fear of the unknown, fear of whatever. I will kind of speak on that. Like, I know you have all these fears that things are going to change, that when things are out of your comfort zone, when it's unknown, it's scary. Like, I'll say that, but I'm not going to say like this X, Y, and Z intrusive thought and then try to make it feel better, because that's like the opposite of what my therapist would ever want me to do. So I'm not suggesting to do that. I'm not suggesting to like talk to, to talk through your intrusive thoughts, because they aren't rational, you know? This is like the negative things that you always have pop up inside of you. The limiting beliefs, the doubts, the insecurities that you have around your goals, around you wanting more. Because what happens is we get like this internal limit of like what we're able to have, and your nervous system, your subconscious, all of this, your conscious mind, your subconscious, your nervous system, all kind of freak out when you start to reach what you think is your limit. So slowly doing this as you're asking and receiving more, helps you allow to receive more instead of like reaching that limit. And then it's like naturally happening. So you're like ripping back the band-aid. So you're allowing yourself to be able to receive more by kind of like removing some of that. Because if energy is just energy and it's stored, then you want to let go of those like negative self-doubt, that will help you allow to have more and receive more comfortably in a way that's like consistent, other than like you will get stagnant. And I think that's why lately someone said, oh, like if you keep doing this, like blah blah blah. One thing that I think is very important if you're trying to be like an entrepreneur with it, or let's say like my job where I'm a live streamer, I do things on the internet in front, like I'm an entertainer, like YouTube, streaming, like all of that stuff. You want to like make sure that you're taking the time for yourself when it feels off. Like last night, streamed anyways. I probably should have logged off stream like way before I did, but then I realized the full moon happened, and I was like, oh, whatever. But like, cause I think it's always a joke in the whole world that like when the full moon happens, like weird things go on. But like even if you have slow times, you just kind of need, like, I know this is easier said than done, but kind of just like let it go as if like that doesn't define everything. That's just like a moment. And like every new moment is what, like this moment right now is all that matters. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. Um, but take the time for yourself because you got to find the balance of like not just self-sabotaging but also taking care of yourself, because sometimes like let's say you had a $1,000 day, a $10,000 day, $100,000 day, wherever you're at in your life, okay, and then the next day you're like, oh my god, I have to keep going because like I'm gonna miss out on it. That's probably a day that you actually want to slow down. But if it's like the opposite, where it's like, oh, I should have tried today. Yesterday was so good. That is when you would want to work. If that makes sense, like those little cues are kind of the telling you what you're like how you're self-sabotaging and how like where your limits are. So if you have like the doubt that like, oh my gosh, I had this great day, I can't do it again, I should rest today, that is when you probably should try a little bit or do something towards the goal. And if it's kind of like that mindset of like, oh my goodness, like, how did I say it? Well, the opposite, you would want to rest. If it's like, go, 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 I'm gonna miss out, I'm gonna lose out, it's gonna go away, that's when you should rest, because that's like the subconscious's way of like setting the limit for you of what it thinks it should be allowed to have, by like saying like, oh my goodness, like you already had this great day, there's no way you could have another one. Or saying the opposite, where it's like telling you that you have to keep going and that if you don't chase it, it's going to go away. And that's kind of like the subconscious doing the same things backwards. That's would be in the same category. You're trying to find like a middle ground where it doesn't matter. Like you want to, because everything to me is mindset. It's how you feel about it, it's what you believe in. So in each individual moment, it's not letting the subconscious or the that part of your mind control what you do. It's the conscious mind saying, well, I want to work right now, so I'm going to. Or I want to rest right now, so I'm going to. I want to just be right now, so I'm just going to be right now. And that's where taking moment by moment is the most important, because you start to if you start to think about the future or the past, you'll start to like get distracted, and you'll start to like, it'll give you anxiety. But if you just focus on the moment and realize like you have everything you need and more already inside of you, which goes into what I was saying before about like the talking your negativity out loud and then change it to positive, because you're going to start realizing that you're going to say that to yourself, that like, I have everything I need already right here. I don't need to change. I don't need to be this different version of myself. So focusing on the moment is really important, I would say, in resting the nervous system or subconscious into believing that you can have what you want already and that it is safe for you to receive the things you want. Because that is the biggest thing, is realizing that it's safe. Like the ego, the nervous, all of that is trying to save you. It thinks that like change is going to hurt it. But like that's not true. Like that is just like a belief, and we're like it's trying to save you. When you think about it that way, it's like, oh, thank you for trying to save me, but like it that doesn't actually benefit you in the long run. It's trying to keep you at like a limit so that things won't happen, things won't change, that the world around you will be like not uncomfortable, because change can be uncomfortable. Stepping out of your comfort zone can be uncomfortable, and the body and mind doesn't always like that. So that's what you're trying to do, is open it up to letting it know that it is safe to receive things. It is safe to change. It is safe to be who you want to be. And I think this is the perfect place to end this. I don't know anything. I don't know if you could hear anything. I'm testing out this microphone. But yeah, I figure this is the best place to end this. I don't know if you can still hear me. Oh, it's sunny. It's sunny. I just want to remind you guys that you're the bee's knees. You're awesome. You're great. You're cool. If you are chugging along in life, I believe in you. Yeah. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube.